young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up next on Talk Today, it's your show. Talk about just about anything. Stay with me. Let's talk.
Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Cayman. Welcome to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Charles Glidden. I'm still a guest. I was 2 months now or something. Still a guest. The month of May just zipped by us, and we're into a brand new month and the start of the 2025 hurricane season. Mango season is in full swing too, by the way. Been enjoying some nice mangoes. My wife always makes sure we have a good supply of those. Well, hurricane season officially goes until November 30th. Yep, it's that time of year when we check our hurricane preparedness. Make sure you have your batteries, your oil for the lamps, canned goods. One thing I've been meaning to get is a small battery-operated radio. Of course, Radio Cayman will, as always, do its utmost to be on the air before, during, and after a hurricane, keeping people informed. And if you have a little radio, I mean, I experienced this during Ivan. A little radio can make a big difference in your life. It just, all other sources of communication are down, but radio makes you feel like you're in contact. You can find out what's going on, so I got to get that radio. If you have a generator, especially a portable one, when was the last time you fired it up? Might want to crank that up. Get that engine going, make sure it's working. There's an old saying about hurricane season. June's too soon, July stand by, August it must, September remember, October it's over. That's old school nowadays. Last year proved that that is just a saying. All that got thrown out the window last year. All that's gone. In 2024, the first system, Tropical Storm Alberto, developed on June 19th. June 19th. Then it made landfall near Tampico, Mexico the next day, and afterward 2 storms formed in quick succession at the end of June, with the first Hurricane Beryl, remember Beryl, being a rare June major hurricane, the earliest Category 5 Atlantic hurricane on record, and only the second recorded in July. Next came Tropical Storm Chris, which formed on the last day of June and quickly made landfall in Veracruz. And that was the beginning of a very, very active hurricane season that continued right through to mid-November. I think we have a caller, so let's take that call. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm wondering if anybody that's listening to your program know where we can find lamp wicks.
Lamp wicks?
The one that goes into the oil and then you light it?
Yeah, I would try like a hardware store.
I did.
And no lamp wicks?
No, and I've been trying for a while because all the flashlights you buy, by the time hurricane season comes along, they don't work. So I have many lamps here, but I'm short of...
A good old oil lamp is great.
I know.
But you need that wick.
Yes. You need wicks, and I've checked all around and asked people on Facebook, and nobody.
Nobody knows.
I have the lamp and all the supplies for it.
Well, maybe one of our listeners can help us.
That's what I was hoping, sir.
Okay, well, who knows where to get wicks for an oil lamp? Let's hear from you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for calling.
Okay.
And we have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. Good afternoon to all our listeners. How's everybody?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Yes, sir. It's okay. I've been alerted to conduct a search and rescue operation for 3 or 4 men in a disabled boat. I think they have propeller problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday evening at 10 minutes to 3, I got a call conveyed from propane tanker coming from Panama Canal going to Houston, and they came across in the area of the boat and said they needed help, and that was 10 minutes to 3, and after I received the call, I passed it on to the authorities in Grand Cayman.
Where's the boat in distress from, you know?
Not sure from where. I'm hearing that they are Caymanians, and I'm hearing that they're Hondurans, so I'm not sure. And I acted on it by sending out distress messages to ship's captains and mates, broadcasting to assist, proceed to the location. The report said it was in the vicinity of Rosalind Bank, but the ship's position was roughly approximately 145 miles west-southwest of Cayman Brac, which is quite a distance from the Rosalind Bank. That's what the mate on the tanker had said, in the vicinity of Rosalind Bank, which is much farther than the location.
So anybody going out on high seas should keep an eye out for in that area going on.
Yes, I have a ship now that's coming from Panama Canal, going full speed, coming across that area. I have broadcasted for the ship named Tabiak Explorer, one of the biggest propane tankers in the world, headed to Houston to load propane. And I am not sure if they received my transmission, because since the hurricane, my antenna is bent to the side and the cable is chafed. So sometimes I'm getting out far and sometimes I'm not. That's the situation now. The only how to get up there to repair that is the bucket truck from Dart's company, which was called the Power and Light Company bucket truck. So someone go up there and take down the antenna and fix it.
But tell me something. You said you got the report from a ship, right? That these people were in distress?
I got it from a second party that got it from the ship, that the people were in distress. And then I got a call again this morning from someone in Grand Cayman.
But aren't they supposed, if they come upon someone that's in distress, aren't they supposed to help them out, take them on board?
Yes, that would have happened if my communications could have reached him. I would have ordered for them to take them on board and bring them to Grand Cayman, possibly being the nearest destination. But my transmission is reduced due to the antenna getting damaged from the last hurricane that passed by. But still, I have broadcasted, and I have noticed that the ship have changed course. Since this morning, I broadcasting attention emergency at sea to assist the boat in distress. The ship has altered course and coming right across that area, which is 83 degrees west and it was 17 degrees north. That's the approximate position where the ship was at the time that they made the report.
Well, let's hope that those people are rescued.
Yes, that is right. They need to be rescued as quickly as possible before anything else happens. And bad weather, now things have changed around with getting squalls and rain. We had some rain last night into this morning. Drizzle rain. It's still very overcast. It's not that hot today. What's showing now at 87 degrees? It's showing now. And we have a cloudy, overcast day. So anyway, my efforts in the search and rescue coordinator that I have been acting for the many years, I still continue to do it because...
Well, thank you, Raymond.
Yes, and back to the lady that had the question about the lap wicks. When I was growing up, my father, Mr. Diddy, Alliston Scott, which my son is named after, we always kept them, and that's what I raised up under using lamp for light before electricity. I had found about 6 of those lamp wicks, and I had put them up into my container with parts, heavy equipment parts. If I can locate them, if nothing happened to them, the lady would be welcome to have them, the lady that was asking about
that's very generous of you. We do it with some people did call and left messages saying where they could find them. So, but that's very generous of you. Listen, thanks for the call. I'm over my break time, but call me again sometime, okay? And we did get some info on. One person said you can find lamp wicks at Roper's. And another person said A.L. Thompson is supposed to sell them, although our caller said she had looked there and couldn't find them. But try Roper's, and maybe Thompson's is just out at the moment. We're going to take a break. Be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. Getting back to the lamp wicks, where you can find them. Message on WhatsApp says, go to Hurley's. They have some nice small ones. So, or call the Brac. Apparently the Brac has lamp wicks. We have a caller on WhatsApp. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Okay, just a little plug here. Little nice hand radio battery, AA batteries. Check Funky Tongs.
Okay.
They have them. I just spoke with Mr. Watler there, Mr. Errol Watler, and he said he got them in $39, $49, depending on what you got. Which ones you want, he said. He got the $39 with 9 bands on it and used AA batteries. So it's good to have one of those.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for that tip.
Yes, sir. Had one from last year. And for the hurricane season, as I do every year, I prepare as much as possible, but I don't stop praying from year to year. And we always make sure to keep a positive attitude, because he said he gave us a heart of faith and not a heart of fear. But, living in the Caribbean and here, we are prone. But I always pray positive and hope that we will pass this season like the other ones that we endured last year. So just letting the people of the Cayman Islands know that, yeah, you can prepare, but always keep a positive mind and make sure to remember that God is in control of everything, and we don't receive nothing unless we receive it from Him. And anything, even if this human being think that it's negative, it is always positive for God, because He never gives us nothing bad, and He knows more than us. So you have a wonderful day, Mr. Glidden, and God bless you and the whole entire Cayman Islands.
Same to you. Thanks for calling. Yes, nothing like a good Cat 4 or something to make you say a prayer. Remember, our place in the universe is we're just very small in the universe when you got a Cat 4 bearing down on you. But, last year, like you say, we got by, but, yep, it was a very, very active hurricane season. So only God knows what awaits us this year. God and Noah, well, not that Noah, not the guy with ARC, but the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, that NOAA, is predicting above normal hurricane activity for this season. In fact, NOAA is calling for a 60% chance of an above normal hurricane season. The agency is forecasting a range of 13 to 19 total named storms. That's with winds over 39 miles per hour. Of those, 6 to 10 are forecast to become hurricanes. That's winds of 74 miles per hour or higher, including 3 to 5 major hurricanes. A major hurricane is a Cat 3, 4, or 5. And they should have winds over 111 miles per hour or higher. NOAA has a 70% confidence in these ranges. And kicking off the 2025 hurricane season will be Andrea, or Andrea, if you prefer. Better start buying your corned beef and canned veggies right now, huh? Be a good idea to start stocking up. So, how are you preparing? Call us, let us know. Got any tips for people who want to know how to be? We have a lot of new people that probably never went through a hurricane before. So they in particular have to listen and learn how to prepare. If you want to give us a call, the free number, 1-800-534-8255. That's compliments of Flow, or you can call 949-6990 or WhatsApp 925-3261. Those are numbers that you can get through to us. Well, let's see. The National Coalition for Caymanians government is not playing around. I see from a press release issued last week, it was issued from the NCFC government, is the government is pressing ahead with immigration reform as promised. So after dealing with the civil service term limits for non-Caymanian civil servants, the new government is turning its eye to the private sector. The release said Cabinet approved drafting instructions to amend the Immigration Transition Act 2022 and its accompanying regulations to commence an initial phase of private sector immigration reform. Here are some of the items up for amendment. The creation of a national workforce database and national workforce plan. Premier Andre Ebanks has spoken about this extensively. It is something that is very much needed so that when a work permit is issued, all agencies involved can know if there's a Caymanian who's expected to be qualified for that job in so many months or years or is available right now. So that exchange of information will be invaluable. Other amendments, changes to work permits and their term limits. The permanent residency point system, right to be Caymanian, that should make things easier to determine and award a right to be Caymanian. Residency and employment rights certificate. And getting into some specifics, changes to the permanent residency point system will focus on the impact the person makes within the community rather than the ability to collect points. You know, you could get points by buying land, buying a house, and I'm sure there are people who may not be in that position to actually go out and buy property, but they make very good citizens. They do other things that make an impact on the community in a positive manner. People that you would not mind or would even like to be your neighbor. Someone who, contributes to making Cayman a better place. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have money to do that by being a good citizen. There are proposed changes to the residency and employment rights certificate, and that should result in a longer period before being eligible to apply for naturalization. The Director of Workforce Opportunities Residency Cayman, known as WORC, W-O-R-C, and the Caymanian Status and Permanent Residency Board will have increased authority to revoke residency and work certificates should they conclude that a marriage or civil partnership is of convenience. And when it comes to enforcement, there will be provisions to revoke immigration facilities to aid the deportation or removal of non-Caymanians who flout the laws of the Cayman Islands. Flout, that word sent me to the dictionary to find out exactly what it means. It means to intentionally not obey a rule, law, or custom. But it can also mean to treat with disdain, scorn, or contempt, scoff at, mock. Maybe that's the archaic meaning. But I thought if a work permit holder broke the law, at least a criminal offense, they were automatically deported anyway. I don't know, maybe that's not how it is. Time to take a break. We'll be right back with more Talk Today.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway. Eat fresh.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Britke. Good like that.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. Let's go to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello?
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Charles.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize. I hear trying to find that word that you just mentioned to you. That's why I
float.
Float. That's a very interesting word.
Yes, it is.
I haven't heard it been used.
Yeah, Flout. Float.
Yes, I hear inside of my dictionary right here now trying to find that. Okay, but the word being used remind me of that incident with the when it come into the abuse of our laws, right? Mm-hmm. Careless driving, drinking and driving, alcohol, under the influence of alcohol. And to me it very amusing to see how our judicial system work with imprisonment of careless driving, especially when it causing death. And I saw an article on social media about the guy that got 18 months for that incident, and
causing death by reckless driving, dangerous driving,
careless driving and drinking alcohol, and
they killed someone. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 18 months. That's a little bit less than 2 years, and I was saying, I was listening to a documentary with Jordan Peterson, and just to think about alcohol in general, how it influences a person's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that alcohol makes you less care of your actions, or at least don't care about the consequences of your actions, knowingly what you're doing.
Or make you think you're doing okay.
Another thing too. Yeah. Liquid courage, I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being that the particular person is a digital asset businessman, I wonder how much on that, like how you was talking about with the point system, how much he would have gained by contributing to the island, knowing that he got 18 months for killing somebody intentionally but without fear of consequences. Yeah, I know it's an accident caused by a motor vehicle, but knowingly driving under the influence is dangerous to kill. That could cause death. I think that he knew what he was doing, and it was deliberate.
That he deliberately killed the person, or deliberately drove drunk?
I'll consider you knowing deliberately, because knowing that you can go on the road and kill someone and still take the chance in doing it is a deliberate attempt, I believe.
Oh, it's a deliberate act, yeah. To drive, you mightn't intend to kill someone, but you certainly intended to drive drunk.
But if you are warned that you can kill someone with driving under the influence, and you say, I don't care, and you go and kill someone, what would that be?
Flouting the law.
There we go. So I think that 18 months is a slap on the wrist for somebody that does such actions. I understand causing an accident and accidentally killing somebody, but being in an accident and under the influence should be a different nature.
Yeah, well, it's a whole different charge, I think, if just driving under the influence and
so what about if
dangerous driving, killing someone by dangerous driving and being under the influence.
Well, what about if he wasn't drunk and he knew he did it, and then didn't just found out but knew he did it? Would that be any different?
If he was not drunk.
Yeah, if the person was not
over the limit,
and they knew that they hit somebody accidentally, and they could have said that, what kind of charge that would be?
Well, I guess it gets into what the circumstances were. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that we are trying our best to deter any more of these future incidents by pushing a 18-month on a person for driving under the influence.
Yeah, when you take a life. Listen, I have two more people waiting, and I got 1 o'clock news coming up. Thank you so much for the call, though.
Yes, sir.
Have a good afternoon. Yep. Let's take another call. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
All right, and you?
Yeah, well, still alive, you know.
Yeah, still at it.
I have to say, man, every time I hear your voice, man, I remember your grandfather, Charlie, you know. Yeah. Well, good and disciplined, man. But I say, Charlie, man, these immigration laws is some very serious laws, you know.
Yeah, they are.
I can't compare the Caribbean with communist laws like you have in Cuba. You know? Because I tell you, man, I've been over to Cuba a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have no immigration woman or no immigration man laughing in my face, you know. They're very serious. They have to be. You understand? I remember my last trip in 2007. I go to the airport, and no Cayman Airways not coming on that day. So me and my girl, man, we go back to her place. And the next day, I was going, trying to get home, you know. Yeah, so I called the immigration to tell them what had happened and things. And they said to me, Mr. Gibbons, we know where you are, and you take care of yourself, and you'll get home tomorrow. You know, I heard about that before I ever went to Cuba, but I experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So are you saying that these immigration changes that they're saying are being proposed, that they're going too far?
Well, like now we need to do it. Hello? We need to do it. We need to stop being little boys and little girls in this country, man. We need to do it, Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take back Cayman Islands, boys. And anyone again that we find not doing what they're supposed to do, you need to chastise them too, you know. Caymanians. We need to stop being soft in this life, in these areas of living, my boy. People taking so much advantage of us, man. You understand?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, man. You can go to the immigration and just push $200 up in one of them officers' face, man, and just get through all the kind of corruption in the box.
Well, that's a heck of a charge that you just
gave there. You find man guilty of that.
I mean, do you know, how do you know that happens, though?
Well, I don't know it happens.
Well, you got to be careful when you say those kind of things if you don't know that it actually happened.
Anyway, I'm entitled to my belief.
Oh yeah, everybody's entitled to their belief.
Yeah, I believe it happens. You understand? Because I tell you, Charles, every weekend, some people coming into this island, boy, and I see them on Monday morning. I never seen them last week. Because I'm in the public all the time, man. You understand?
Yeah.
Something has to be going down. They're not honest. That's my belief.
Well, listen, I'm coming up on 1 o'clock, and I got another caller hanging in there. I want to try and get them in before the news.
If these people were found and proven guilty of these actions, man, you need to send them northward.
Well, thank you for the call. Have a good one.
All right.
We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello? Hello? Not there. Okay. We lost that one. Or took a break. So, we're going to be seeing a lot of changes coming up here from everything that's coming out from the government as far as immigration reform. It's going to be different going forward here from what we're used to. Some of the changes, measures to reduce work permit holders from job hopping. Work permit holders will have to show a higher income level to add dependents onto their work permits. And another change, allow Caymanians to receive a letter of acknowledgement of being Caymanian based on their proven relationship to someone who already possesses their acknowledgement, creating an easier process for persons seeking first-time acknowledgement. And that sounds good too. At one point, it was easier for a status holder, someone who got Caymanian status, to prove that they were Caymanian than what we would call true-born Caymanian, right? I remember a friend of mine, his son came out of high school, went to a grocery store to get a job, and they wanted proof of him being Caymanian. Now, this young man was, true-born. His family has roots right from the smack in the middle of Georgetown, well-known family going back 6, 7, 8 generations maybe. But he had to prove he was Caymanian, and he didn't have a piece of paper. Passport, that's a travel document. There's no proof of Cayman status. Birth certificate, okay, you were born here, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're Caymanian. So it was easier if you had status to prove you were Caymanian than someone born here. It's 1 o'clock. That means it's time to find out what's happening in the news.
Today.
Always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Demisio Frederick appeared before Justice Cheryl Richards in Grand Court on Friday, charged with the murder of Christopher Johnston in 2023. No plea has yet been entered at this stage. Frederick is represented by defense attorney Amelia Fossahini, who was served legal papers on the 28th of May. His next court appearance is scheduled for the 13th of June. Until then, he remains in custody at HMP Northward. In regional news, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is urging motorists to exercise greater caution after 5 people, including a 9-year-old child, were killed in road accidents over the weekend. Senior officers highlighted reckless driving, poor decision-making, and inattentiveness as common causes of fatal crashes. Authorities also emphasized the importance of seatbelt use, revealing that 160 drivers were fined for failing to wear them. With 44 road fatalities recorded so far this year, police are calling for stricter adherence to traffic laws to prevent further loss of life. In other regional news, Suriname authorities continue searching for missing persons feared dead after a boat capsized near the Tapuka Bambusi area in Suriname's Marawini district. Police confirmed that 10 people were on board, with 3 bodies recovered so far. 4 survivors have been transferred to French Guiana for medical treatment. Search efforts remain ongoing for 2 men and 2 children as both Surinamese and French teams deploy resources. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Alfred Berman Scott, 1914 to 1989. Alfred Scott was schooled in Jamaica and went to sea as a young man, and then to Panama, where he worked on the canal. When he returned home to Cayman Brac, he worked as a contractor and manufacturer of concrete blocks made on a homemade machine, floor tiles and aggregate. He served in the Legislative Assembly in the early 1970s, representing Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, and was a Baptist preacher for a number of years. He was a philanthropist who was widely loved and respected. Mr. Scott, who was married to Miss Alta Aurelia Henderson, was a model husband and father who raised 12 outstanding citizens. Another son died at an early age.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land. Explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. And so far we're talking about immigration, immigration reforms, hurricane season, dangerous driving, flouting the law. We have someone on the line right now, so let's talk some more. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
Yes, how are you doing?
Not too bad, and you?
I'm all right.
Okay. I'm wondering a little bit. They're rebuilding the West Bay dock down at the public beach.
Uh-huh.
But I noticed that they're building it back from wood again.
Okay.
And that was kind of concerned. That's kind of concerning because normally when the bad weathers come in, it either like the wood get destroyed because I know they got the dock next door to it with the riff-raff thing that was going on with that dock there, and they built it back with they did theirs back with concrete, and a couple of bad weathers came through there, and that didn't get damaged. Their dock is still standing good and strong, but you know even that they could have probably just found out from those people, even though they had the protest down there, to find out like maybe who built their dock because. I think
I'm sure the government knows how to build it, but I'm sure the government knows how to do it. They wouldn't have to find out from him. But you're saying that they're building it back out of wood and it's going to get destroyed again.
Yeah, how protests and stuff like that, you know, and sometimes they hold up each other and so forth. But I mean, I don't think that's everybody have a right to protest and say, well, but you're not supposed to like. Have any hard feelings towards people, you know, because you gotta love everybody, you know, even though some people, you know, they might have their reasons why they're doing what they did. Maybe people going there and just being, you know, littering and things they shouldn't be doing, you know. So I went to the protest, but I didn't. I just went to look and see what was going on, but I didn't go there to protest against anybody because, I wanted to find out the real situation why they did what they did, and you know, but
your question is a good one though. Your question is a good one, and I don't know if it comes down to money, But yeah, why not make the dock concrete so that after every hurricane season you got to repair it.
Yeah, but you see why the money, if you can spend, you might as well spend good and get it done right.
Yeah, you got to have it. You got to have the money too in the budget.
Yeah, he's going to spend again, so you're going to add up, probably end up spending more money again now. So it's like it might as well have just did it the right way. So, and I know if any bad weather come, I mean, that got to be built real good, because they're going to destroy that again, at least lift up probably some of the boards or whatever. But if I were them, I would have took a little more chance to build a little concrete and see how that would have worked out. Because we know the board one is, got destroyed about 2 or 3 times.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, and the roll over now, when I hear, I'm doing the term limits roll over or whatever work permits it is, I think when they roll in now, they should roll 6 years. 2 years is just like for them going where they come from, like a vacation.
Well, they can't come back. They have to wait 6 years to return to Cayman to get another job.
6 years. And what I'm saying is because, we have our children coming out of school, and a lot of them encourage them to go back for their education, but we can't force them unless you put it mandatory in the law. When they leave at 18, they have to go back to university or college or technical school or something like that, but I don't think that's in the law.
No.
So, yeah.
Well, the good thing is, the good thing is the exchange of information. They're going to, the left hand is going to know what the right hand is doing, and so if there's this database that they want to create, that they know Caymanians that are available. They know if they give someone a scholarship, that's in the database, and work can see it, immigration can see it. Everybody can share that information and know that you have a Caymanian that's supposed to be coming back in X months or whatever to take that position, and that will affect whether they give a work permit or not.
Yeah, and they have also, children, when they come back for study leaves and all that, too. Maybe some of them want to be kind of find some work to do and all those different things, too. So it's different ways to school, summer vacations and, things like that. So we can't forget about that. And meanwhile, that experience can be counted after they graduate.
Sure.
So they're always asking for education, and when you got the education, you got the experience. So I'm wondering how you're going to get the experience if you don't work.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, huh?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The rollover, to me, it should be 6 years. Also, do you have work permits too? Different people, have people working or one person, or depending on where electrical, plumbing, or whatever. And they have 4, 5, 6 people holding their work permit. They're working for that one, working for that one, working for that one, and that is a problem for people also, because that if it's one person holding 6 people holding one permit, then they have to wait until that person gets to them now to do their work. When that could be somebody else or one of the people that can do.
Can that many people really share a permit, though?
Pardon?
Can that many people really share a permit?
I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6.
I know 2 people can share a permit.
I mean, to know, you have to find out that information from where I work or whatever. Because if you use one person to work permit, I don't know how much.
I mean, I've seen the forms. But
I'm not sure, but it's a possibility.
I've seen the forms, and there's really only space for one other person to share it.
One? Okay. Well, is that really going on?
Well, I don't know what the reality is, but.
And maybe they're working for 6 or 7 other friends or whatever towards that person. So that's really like you working outside of your work permit.
Yeah, that's different than sharing.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that can be taking place too. Like if one person is holding your work permit or 2, then they could be working for so many other people outside of their work permit, which that's unfair because.
Well, if you're working outside your permit, that's against the law.
Exactly, that's against the law. That working outside your work permit. So, is anybody that is policing that? I mean, it's anybody that is checking on it. That is anybody trying to find out. Okay, if you come into Cayman Islands, right? No matter where you come from, you come into Cayman Islands, and I can pick up no special nationals or nothing like that. I can just say wherever you coming from, and you come here in the Cayman Islands, and you put on that immigration form that you are going to stay, just say Dog City, somewhere down in Dog City, wherever your house number or whoever it is or whatever. They're supposed to be, that's where they're supposed to go to live. They're not supposed to be living. Some of them come here, they're probably not going nowhere to live. Once they can get in Cayman, they're good. They can make money and they can live better. So they're not business. You understand? They will live under a mango tree if they had to. But what I'm saying to you is that these people can be coming in here and they put in these addresses and they're not living there, or not, the people not going to accommodation for them or whatever. You know, it could be just using like a friend or somebody just to get away and say, yeah, you know.
Well, I don't know how often it's done, but they do say on the form that, you know, immigration or work can come and inspect where it is that you're supposed to be living.
But are they doing that? Are they doing
that's
that?
Another question.
You understand? Yeah. Are they doing that? Because, I mean, if you come here to the Cayman Islands, wherever you're coming from, and if I'm an immigration officer, and I look at your paper that day that you coming in, and you say this is where part, and okay, sir, well, can you give me this contact number that I can contact someone right here now that I can call to make sure this is where you're going to live, and we have to have your contact number. You're going to follow up with you.
Well, all that's supposed to be done before the work permit is issued.
Yeah, but I'm sure that's not going on. That's not going on. And as more people come in, it's going to become a bigger problem. The more people,
it gets harder and harder. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it has to start from authority. It has to start from within the government with immigration. From you hit that airport, it has to start from there. Yeah. If not, it's going to be out of control.
Well, thank you so much for your call.
And they're not going there.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Jono.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
Oh, I want to call you about today. I haven't heard anything much about the beaches lately.
You mean the erosion?
The erosion on the beach, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard that much either.
Well, I
tell you the truth, it's been a long time I haven't even been to the beach.
Be with us. I usually used to go up there by the Royal Palms, you know, and check out and see what the situation was up there. And I went on the radio a couple of times and told them, I say, you know, they're talking about putting a lot of money. Not the last I heard, but putting a lot of sand back on the beach, really.
Yeah.
Where the beaches things and stuff like that.
Yeah, the replenishment.
Yeah, well, to me, that is hogwash. You do that, that's all. That's not ignoring it. Nobody made the beach. You know, nobody made the beach. Nature made the beach. So nature got control that.
Well, I think there's been some places that has been successful, though, replenishing the beach.
It's not going to stay as long as the concrete stay there on the beach. I mean, move the concrete. Okay, for
instance, the walls, yeah, sure.
And look at this, right where the Royal Palm was. Mm-hmm. It was terrible. And I kept telling them, I say, take up the wall, take off the beach in 6 months. In 9 months, you'll have your beach back. They took it up in, I don't think it was 3 weeks, where you could see a lot of sand back in the area. They took up part of the Royal Palm.
Yeah, because the waves come up and bring the sand, and they don't reflect off a wall and wash the sand out.
Yeah, well, that's it.
That was the big mistake when planning allowed people to build those walls.
Yeah, that was Marcel and Charles Coconut who cheesed that law, you know, long time ago. That was Marcel and Charles Coconut cheesed that law long time ago.
What, to allow seawalls?
Yeah, to make them build down on the beach.
Mm.
That's what cheesed a long time ago. That was, yeah, from the time they were building that seam Royal Palm thing there. Anyway, what I want to say, right next to the Royal Palms is that coral thing there. I think it belongs to Dar or somebody.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They got that concrete out in the water. There's 3 feet of water around it. If they make them take all that concrete up off the beach, the sand will come back also. You're not going to put no sand. The sand will come back on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to let the waves, you got to give room for the waves to come in and just dissipate. You don't want them bouncing off a wall.
Yes, that's the same thing happened by the Radisson. But when the Radisson was there, we had beach. When they put it into the barrier, we told them, don't make them build down on the beach. They can't carry all that concrete down there. When you get a little water come up and hit the wall, bam, it's splashing and take the sand out with it.
Mm-hmm.
And right next to the Royal Palms, was the same thing. Don Foster had a tent put up there just above the Royal Palms, next to the Seagull wall, and when that tent came down, they had the bad weather. They had no sand, no beach by Royal Palms, but just up above that, where that area was, there was nothing. You had a lot of beach because the water could run it fast up and settle into the sand, leave sand.
Yeah, I was looking at some pictures of the old Holiday Inn and how wide that beach was.
Yeah.
That was a very, very wide beach there by the old Holiday Inn.
Well, yeah, but look down at the West End and look at the governor's house.
Uh-huh.
Those days you could not build down past the Fobush line.
Right.
You had the water line down there. But then you had a Jennifer Bush line, and you couldn't build a Jennifer Bush line those days. You had to come back 60 feet from that to build. That's why that was like that line. It was like holding the sand together with all the trees and the roots and stuff like that. Jennifer Bush, and you had to build behind that.
And that made sense too, because you don't want to get too close to the sea when it gets rough.
Well, they allow them to go down there and build down there and ruin the whole thing. But what I'm trying to say is, I hope the government not put no money into to happen no money, put no beach back there, because you need it back there. People take the concrete off the beach. I don't care who it need to come off the beach, and then they get their sand back. I was down there on the beach the other day, and a lady, we were talking, and she looked down towards the wall of that place there, and she said, "You mean I got to walk in all that water to get around the other side?" I said, "Well, yes, ma'am, I pretty much believe so, unless you go up across the road and come down on the other side." But I say, it's not Caymanians done that. I said it like that, but in a way, Caymanians allowed it to happen too.
Yeah, that's what happened. We allowed it to happen.
Allowed it to happen. Because it was not happening one time, but I got to tell you, Charles, it was said that they would change that law. I remember that. I'm quite old, so I remember that.
I guess people just didn't know or realize what would happen,
From the time the barrier was being put, and we told them not to do it, then the barrier never had no beach. They went and put these big balls out in front of the barrier, remember that?
Yeah.
And then they said that couldn't hold it. They got people in from somewhere and other, tell them all kind of fools in about plastic strips. When they put the plastic strips down on there, I used to take my eyes and see them come up, lower end of Marcus. I see when the beach up on the lower end of Marcus, that's right. Because nature built this island, no man now built islands. And they're going on like that. I don't know.
Well, thank you for the call.
I hope nobody plan to put nobody into helping them out with that beach and put back sand on the beach talking as stupid is what it needs.
Remove the walls and the sea will bring the sand back, right?
Automatically.
Thank you so much for the call. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, too.
We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm well. I'm thankful for another day given God thanks. I just got a couple things to touch on real quick.
Okay.
I keep thinking about where we are as a country, nation, whatever we want to call these 3 beautiful little islands. We as Caymanians, we have sat down. We are to blame. I don't blame anyone else. I blame us as a people, because we have been welcoming for years. And we see now what that welcoming spirit has done to us as a people, as a country. It is hard to believe that we have sat down and allowed outsiders to come to the Cayman Islands, dictate to us what we can, where we can, what we can, and what we can do. And it is us to blame, and we, the people, the traditional, the generational Caymanians, that's who I'm talking about today.
Yeah.
We are a welcoming people, but we are at a crossroads in our country at a time where we have so many issues going on that I'm going to put this very mildly to my people, because that's who I'm talking to today. We have so many issues that we need fixed ASAP. We have to be very what's the word I'm trying to look for? We have to look at the whole picture, the big picture. And I would not want to be the current government because they have so much on their shoulders to carry.
They certainly do.
From what needs to be fixed in Cayman. And we, as the voters and as Caymanians, we have to be realistic here for this 4 years. We are not going to get everything that we need fixed in 1 4-year term. We can start to work on a lot of things, but this is going to have to be a couple 4 years before we actually see the full benefits of what is being implemented. And I am all one for it.
Might take 2 terms to get it done and another term before you see the results.
Yes, but we have to be patient. Remember now, we have been very patient. We have allowed people for 50 years to come in here and tell us what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot expect a miracle on everything that needs to be done.
It's important too that we are balanced in what we do.
Yes. We can't send everybody off like a lot of us want people to be gone right now. Change is going to come, and I look at it this way. We tried the past government of independence. That didn't work for us. And the voters, those that voted, they made a choice this election. And the choice was put out there, and they chose those people. It was up to whoever was needed to form the government to form it. And it was formed. This government, to me, is the best government in years because it has a cross-section of not only 2 parties and 3 independents. The people voted, and the work has to get done. But we as Caymanians cannot expect everything. I'm very happy to see that for once in my almost 55 years, us as Caymanians seem to finally be united for once instead of always fighting against one another.
We have some common goals.
Yes, and you know, I go back to 1988 when I graduated. I started work right away. That was what I wanted to do. Others in my family members, brothers and sisters, some went to university, some didn't. Some chose to work. We have to be very careful. We have, 600-800 students coming out every year. And the news that I have heard coming out from the education department is nothing but a positive. And I am going to say this, and I am going to keep saying it. Cayman is for Caymanians. We have been told we have nowhere to go. This is home. But the amount of Caymanians that have gone and left Cayman and that have become very successful in life, and a lot of those have come back home. We just need to take a look at them and see that we as a people, we have always been a traveling people. I go back to the days of my father. He's now gone. But I go back to the days of him coming home on a boat from sea after being away from home for 9 months. And you wanted to just not let go of your father because he was there for 3 or 4 months. We have always traveled.
And we've spent time, we've gone overseas to work also.
Yeah, we have. And we have plenty smart people that are Caymanians, that are nurses, doctors, lawyers, accountants, you name it. They're all over the world. But what we have to do here is create a foundation for our children coming out of school. And I'm glad to see all of the changes that are being put forward to be made, not only with immigration, not only with education, but in other areas of the government and so forth. We have to start somewhere, sir. And there are going to be people, there are going to be everyone. There are going to be Caymanians, there are going to be foreigners up in an uproar that this cannot be done. But I am sure those 11 that have formed the government, I know, they have the heart of Cayman, and they have the heart of the Caymanian people at will. And things will get done, but we have to be very patient because Almighty God created this earth in 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. And we must give our leaders, our government, their time and their space that they need to rest also. We can't work them to death all the time, but change is going to come. It's going to be unhappy for some. It's going to be joyous for others. But like I say, this is home for us. And if we can't speak, our voices cannot be, if we can't open our mouth and our voices be heard in the Cayman Islands, where else can we do it as a people? And I am very, very happy as a Caymanian that we are finally seem to be on the same level of what needs to be done in this country.
Well, thank you so much for your thoughts.
I look at it, it's a global reset. And that is what is happening right now with the world, with immigration. It is a global reset. And no one that comes to these shores should think that we are not a friendly people. We are a friendly people, sir, but our people come first. And I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to thank you for your time and thank Radio Cayman for me being able to speak freely in a country that is democratic. And our voices as Caymanians will be heard. Just let's do it the right way. Give our government time, and they will do and steer Cayman in the way that it needs to go, so that this ship that was sinking can stay afloat for many, many years, so that our people can live here, prosper, and enjoy what God has given us. I thank you, and God bless the Cayman Islands and all of you at Radio Cayman. Have a blessed afternoon, sir.
Thank you for your call.
For doing what you do. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Goodbye.
We're going to take a break, but caller that's on the line, hold on there. We're going to take a break and come back to you.
Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back to Talk Today. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Yes, you're on the air with Talk Today.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Well, I can't remember your name. I'm so
Glidden.
Mr. Glidden. I'm in my mind. I'm thinking Ricketts, but I wanted to previous caller. I hope my 65 looks like her 65 as a compliment to her, and I also wanted to support every single one of her statements. I could say them better myself. I, of course, can't make certain statements that she has because I don't have the same stature and status. But very well stated, and she's very, very passionate about her Caymanian people, like Dr. Steve McField. So I want to second pretty much everything that she said there. I don't know if you guys brought up the topic of the most recent acquisition attempt on Cayman National Bank. Did you?
No one has spoken about that.
Okay. That is something that's been on my mind all weekend, and it's kind of a scary situation to realize. I am almost feeling that, it's probably going to push through, and it's more or less just a formality. But I hope that those who have any investments left in the bank in terms of shares that the financial institution wants to purchase, that they will think very carefully of what that's going to mean for the Cayman Islands. I don't know if our present government intends to look into it to see if there's anything that can be done, if they want to do anything, or they're just going to leave it, up to the shareholders of the bank. But we have to think about what that would mean for the Cayman Islands.
It is a private company. Private, but yet with shareholders.
Right. I was just, there's a lot of talk about it going on social media, and it's just, like I said, kind of scary to think about. Will Caymanians lose a lot of jobs? Will they change the name of the bank? There's no one that's saying any of those things.
Well, it shouldn't really change the jobs. The bank still has to operate.
Well, you know what happened when they first acquired part of the bank was that they moved the customer services out of the jurisdiction to Trinidad, and I understand that some people were shifted around, and some people,
You mean like when you call, the person that you get when you call is...
Yes.
Is actually in Trinidad, yeah.
Right.
Like credit card, when you call about a credit card or something.
Well, any type of customer.
But that's 2025 for you.
Yeah, so they've moved the services back. Now I understand. Almost 2 years they've moved the services back to the Cayman Islands because my understanding was there was quite a lot of complaints because of the services being, overseas, and the different reasons. I understand that I won't publicly state, but those are just some things to consider as we're watching this. And you're right when you say it's a private company, but I don't know, how far that goes because I'm not too versed in policies and procedures and laws in that area. But I just wanted to bring that up because it is a hot topic online right now, and it's something that needs to be watched. It's a historical part of the Cayman Islands. I spoke to a very prominent Caymanian lady last week, and she was giving me a heads up of a family and a few other Caymanian families that started the bank. And it's such a shame that it's gotten to this point. But like you said, it's 2025, and the world is evolving and changing. And going back to the previous caller's statements, people, we've always had visitors to the islands. We've always had people immigrating to the islands, and it's what helped to develop the islands. But we still have to find that balance. And while things will have to change, we'd still like to see some things that are historically ours that we'd like to maintain or hold on to in a certain manner of speaking. But I'll leave that with you, Mr. Glidden.
Well, thanks for the call.
Anything else? Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
We have another caller. This is a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I think I'm good. Now, I've been listening to some of your callers. I just want to address a couple of things which the caller before the last one said, and it was very good to listen to him because he's showing this patience that sometimes people in the community don't have because a problem has existed for so long, and they appear like over the years they were being duped. And I think that it's good that some understanding that these things are not easy to do is always good. But at the same time, I think there's a few things that the government needs to be helped with. And I don't think they should be seen always as criticisms, but just as input as to what can be done better. There are two issues, for example, regarding policy, which I would have wanted to hear from the government. They have said that they will have a policy now to say that there will be some jobs which are only for Caymanians. Now, that's good. But recently, I have bought into an idea which somebody who ran an activist in Cayman, a Caymanian from 2017, has been promoting. I've bought into what he says. He says that we should actually say in a law that every job that is created is for a Caymanian. State that as some kind of directive principle of state policy.
That's originally the idea behind the Caymanian Protection Law. I mean...
Exactly. And yes. Now, I forget how... The way people talk about the Caymanian Protection Law... because I wasn't in Cayman then. I only came to Cayman in 2003. They talk about it, and I try to learn from them. They say that the way it was written was such that it gave greater recognition to that principle. Now, I don't know what words they specifically used in it and the specifics of how they implemented that policy, but this gentleman keeps saying, we must have it in the law to say every job is for a Caymanian. Because once you establish that, then you say, if a job is going to go to an outsider, then you have to make a special case, and then you have to have some specifics of how to do that. Now, it is not fundamentally different from what the government has said, but I think it is a better approach, and it helps sort of reorient people. It's not as if anybody can come to get a job and the Caymanian has to make a case to get a job. No. It is that a Caymanian, prima facie, is entitled to their job. It is the other person that has to make a case.
Yeah, make a case that I can't find a Caymanian to do this job.
Exactly, and that should mean, for example, if I can find a Caymanian who can do this job, he's got 10 years experience, and that is what is required, he must be employed, even if there's somebody from elsewhere with 30 years experience. Now, the second thing which I would have loved to hear from the government is also, what are their aims regarding the long term? I think from the way I read the public, they are saying we want a policy which will ensure that we are not a minority in our own country. And I think that too needs to be declared in a law to say our aim, in addition to job preferences and so on, we want to ensure that there is policies which ensure that Caymanians are not completely dwindling and going down. Now, people very often say, well, but you see, you can't be too tough, then you are going to be divisive in the community. No. I think Caymanians will continue to be more welcoming of people if they are not a minority in their country. If they become a minority...
The challenge is that the economy has just exploded. And you need people to keep it going.
And that is true. You need people to keep it going. But my suspicion is that the balance has not been maintained. Because I don't believe that the people who are employed, who have work permits to work on the till, to cut grass, to work at the reception, those work permits, I don't think that those are work permits which have to go to somebody else when you've got about 1,500 Caymanians not employed. I think there are fundamental problems. I think you have to accept, of course, that there are certain jobs. Like I came to Cayman as a legislative councillor. I was not even just a regular lawyer as much as I had practiced a little bit. But people who write legislation are very few, and I came to Cayman and was able to come because of that. So there are some people like me who are very difficult to find, but at the end of the day, you have to avoid this system where quite obviously the system is not working and work permits are being given for jobs that can be done by anybody. You might remember there was way back, there was a YouTube video which was circulating of this lady, I think she was Canadian, and she was at the beach and saying, you know what, Cayman is so good. I didn't have experience even as a bartender.
A waitress or something.
But I got a work permit and I got a job. Okay, that's what you're trying to avoid. But let me leave you there. Pardon me?
No, I said I hear what you're saying.
Yes, so those are the issues. And the other issue that they have to really look at is they have to look at the cap. You see, without a cap, you can put in all these measures and they will have a little bit of an effect. But without a cap, I think it will be very difficult to achieve these results that you're looking forward to. And also the government, I think, haven't said, and they should say, what is their projected result? Do they expect that from these measures, they will reduce status grants by 50%, by 60%? How is that going to happen? Okay. How much more jobs do they expect to be open? They need to have some kind of projection. You can't just operate on an assumption that the measures that you put in place are going to work the way they're supposed to work. You're supposed to put in some projection like that. I think the government needs to look at these, and I think if they can do this, and just tweak it a little more, maybe they might achieve the result they are looking for. But like the other caller said, this is not something that you will see the results straight away. But you need to be able to monitor it like over 6 months, every 6 months to see which way it is going. I think it will take long unless Caymanians suddenly start having 6 or 7 children, which is not going to happen. It is just something that needs to be monitored closely. It's not something you can do a little bit now and then check it again in 4 years later, because I think the cup is filling pretty quickly. Well, I thank you very much.
But before you go,
continue listening. Yes.
What in law, what does flout mean in law?
Flout just means to disobey something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call. Thank you.
Thanks very much. You take care.
Have a good afternoon. All right, time for a break. Be right back.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh. Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together.
Freedom, Cayman Brac. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
The Cayman Turtle Center's Turtle Crawl 5K is back, Sunday, June 8th, starting from the Cayman Turtle Center at 6:30 a.m. Registration is $25 CI and includes a race shirt and a goodie bag. All funds raised will support conservation of green sea turtles in the Cayman Islands. Corporate discounts are available by emailing info@turtle.ky. Register now for the Turtle Crawl 5K at turtlecrawl.ky. Proudly sponsored by Stingray Media, Double M Distribution, Health City, and Gatorade.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Let's go straight to the What's Up. We have a caller there. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Yes, good afternoon. What's on your mind?
Okay. Well, when it comes to adoption in the Cayman Islands and the law concerning adoption of children, right now in the Cayman Islands, by law, a woman, 2 women are able to adopt a child, and 2 men are able to adopt a child. And they speak about when it comes to adopting children, unhealthy environments when a child is being adopted by two women who are married or two men who are married, and when it comes to Mother's Day, on Father's Day, when it comes to Mother's Day, on Father's Day, and a child is adopted by two women, what is going through that child's mind when they see their friends with a woman and a man as a mother and a father? And when it comes to Father's Day, and a child is adopted by two women, and that child sees their friends with a normal mother and father, woman and a man, what is going through that child's mind on Father's Day when they have two parents who are two women? And they speak about unhealthy environments for children when it comes to adoption. Especially mentally, the confusion that puts a child in. And then it encourages a child to go in the wrong direction in life. But yet, the government, by law, allows these things to happen.
Do you think it's better for a child not to have any parents at all than to have same-sex parents?
Well, I think
someone who shows them some love and nourishment and nourishes them.
Say that again?
Is it better for a child not to have any parents than to have a same-sex parent?
I never said that. But
Well,
there are many
I'm
choices.
asking if that's what you're going at.
Yeah, there are many choices. There are not only same-sex marriages in this world today. There are many people who are husband and wives, men and women, who would like to adopt a child.
Sure.
And when a husband and a wife, a woman and a man wants to adopt a child, and then you have same-sex marriages wanting to adopt a child, I don't think once the husband and wife, a woman and a man, who are law-abiding citizens and who are willing to raise that child in a healthy environment, I don't think same-sex couples should be given first choice in raising that child.
Is that the case, that they're given first choice?
Well, if there's an assessment and it comes down to who they decide is able to adopt the child, it's a possibility that can happen.
Well, maybe they discover something going on in the heterosexual marriage that maybe that's not a good environment.
Well, of course that's not a good environment. Of course that's not a good environment. First of all, two women can't have a child.
No, I'm saying somebody, a man and woman who are married, maybe, and they're trying to adopt a child. Maybe there's something going on in that home that is not a good environment either. Maybe there's a lot of alcohol going on, maybe abuse going on.
Yes, that's a possibility, but you have same-sex marriages where alcohol and drug abuse is going on too.
I'm sure.
Okay. Well, I personally, God forbid that I was on my dying bed and my child was up for adoption, I would rather know a woman and a man are adopting my child.
Wouldn't it be best for you to keep your child?
Couples. Huh?
Wouldn't it be best for you to keep and nurture your child than to put him up for adoption?
I said if I was on my dying bed.
Okay. You're on your dying bed. Okay.
Yes, and I never had a choice but to put my child up for adoption.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather know on my dying bed that a man and a woman who are raising my child in a healthy environment, not drugs and alcohol and child abuse and so forth, law-abiding citizens who are raising that child in a healthy and a righteous way, I would rather know they are going to take care of my child rather than knowing same-sex couples are going to raise my child, which will lead my child to make the wrong decisions in life, which is becoming a homosexual.
Well, it's a matter of opinion, isn't it? But I mean, you have the right to feel that way.
Of course, I have the right to feel that way because I'm a God-fearing individual. And I know in the eyes of Jesus Christ and God Almighty, it's their will for that child to be raised by a woman and a man. And it's their will, as Adam and Eve, for that child to be raised by a woman and a man.
Well, that's your viewpoint and the viewpoint of many people. Other people have other viewpoints on that.
Yeah, and when it comes to the LGBT, this parade that they be having on the road.
The pride parade?
Yeah, that's a disgrace. I don't know why the government allowed that to happen. And when children see these parades going on, and they ask their parents, "Mommy or Daddy, what are all about?" What do they tell their parents? What do they tell the children?
It's a gay parade.
Yeah, and what does that mean?
Well, I guess you would have to explain it.
You see?
You'd have to explain it.
Okay. Well, you see where I'm getting at.
But is that going to corrupt the child or something? By explaining that to him?
It might corrupt the child if the parent is making it sound as though it's something right.
Well, sexual preference goes a lot deeper than that, I think. It's much more involved than just explaining what being gay is about. But listen, I'm out of time. It's 2:00. So I have to check in with the newsroom. Be right back. Callers on the line, hang on.
We are Radio Cayman, covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevy Ebanks. Jordan Darrell Manderson appeared before Grand Court on Friday, where he pled guilty to possessing an imitation firearm. Prosecutors stated that on the 20th of March this year in West Bay, Manderson was arrested with the fake weapon, allegedly intending to instill fear or provocation of violence against a woman known to him. He remains on bail and is scheduled to be sentenced on the 22nd of August. In regional news in Guyana, Bishop Juan Edgehill is calling for public assistance in identifying a suspect seen in surveillance footage setting fire to the Outreach Ministries International Winners Cathedral in Lodge, Guyana. The fire, originally suspected to be electrical, was later confirmed as arson after video evidence emerged. Authorities urge anyone with information to contact law enforcement. Despite significant damage, Bishop Edgehill expressed gratitude for the swift response of the Guyana Fire Service. In other regional news, in Trinidad, the Movement for Social Justice has urged the Trinidad and Tobago government to reconsider its stance on legislation allowing law-abiding citizens to access legal firearms for self-defense. MSJ leader David Abdullah pointed out that the government's mandate does not represent the entire electorate. Prime Minister Kamal Prasad Basesu remains committed to pursuing the bill forward, stating that citizens should defend themselves within the law. Abdullah warns that such legislation could reinforce a culture of violence and urges thorough public consultation before it's passed. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevy Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or belly fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Welcome back to Talk Today. We have two callers that have been patiently waiting on the line, so let's go straight to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Charles, it's me again.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just acknowledging what the last caller was talking about, and I find it very important that we, like he stated, continuously be God-fearing people intentionally, because we know what is right and we know what is wrong. It makes no sense to do what is wrong in challenging God. We know it from history. It has happened before, and it will, and it could, and it should happen again if anything goes against God's will. God forbid anything happens to our island. But child indoctrination is a real thing, especially when it's coming to programming the next generation of global obedience. Right? Education, gender ideology, digital addiction, and entertainment. They are the main weapon towards global obedience. And one thing I would like to say in a conclusion to that is they don't need to enslave us, the next generation, with chains, They just need to raise them with confusion, like the previous caller had said, because whoever owns the minds of our children owns the destiny of humanity. And I think that should be something that we should be very concerned about, especially with answering our children what is right and what is wrong. And LGBT is one of them that is wrong.
Well, what's right and what's wrong is often depends on the person and their worldview.
Well,
I mean,
you want to tell me that a banana is orange? Show it to me.
Well, that's fact, though. That's not opinion.
Orange does not make it an orange.
That's fact.
So we can continue to say that that's a gender if we want. If gay people want to believe that they are born that way, why we don't hear it from their parents? Why we don't hear it from their mother and father? I went through when I was younger, at the age of 7, not adoption, but foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank God that my foster parents weren't gay. I can tell you why. Because my family, because I was a little boy, couldn't handle me, I guess. Because of course we know boys are energetic. And I wasn't probably the most favored at that time. But I could tell you one thing, is that I wasn't raised to believe that being gay is okay. And I wasn't raised to think that we were born and we had people born that way. So when it comes into the confusion, when a child is being raised from birth by same-sex individuals that are married, called mom and dad, then we break the chain into letting people know what is right is what is wrong, and what is wrong is what is wrong, but they don't want to tell you that it's wrong. So,
well, thank you for your thoughts.
The educational system needs to think very carefully. Whoever is in the board, passing these stuff towards children, which I think is a crime to humanity, to let children know it's okay, and they should acknowledge being gay. Gay parade should not be happening here in Cayman. And I don't know why is it being acknowledged because of certain people with money or whatever it is, influencing them to believe that this should be something that we should celebrate a whole month for. But as far as I know, Mother's Day is a day, and Father's Day is a day, and they both should be acknowledged more better throughout the month that they are placed in. So that's all I want to say. Child indoctrination is a real thing, and whoever holds those children, they're responsible for humanity.
Well, thank you for the call.
Yes, sir.
And we have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Hi, good afternoon, sir, and thank you for taking my call. I want to go back to, I think, the caller before the last, the one who seemed so perturbed by the thought of same-sex couples raising a child or children together.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that, first of all, those are his thoughts and his opinion to which he's entitled.
Right.
But to float the idea that somehow once a child or children is raised in a heterosexual family, all will be wonderful and approved by God. That is so
All sorts of things go on in a heterosexual family.
That is so far from the truth. Now, firstly, I want to say this. I am a God-fearing, Christ-following, changed by the blood of Jesus Christ. For all intents and purposes, they call us Christians. So I'm not here to try to blaspheme or even to debate whether it's right or wrong and whether God ordained it or not, because it all started in the Bible, and I would venture to say it started in the Garden of Eden, because if it was only Adam and Eve that were created, I'd like to know where the rest of us all came from. But I'm not to discuss or talk about that right now, because I just bought the Bible in its entirety. If you believe in God, you believe in God. You take the whole thing. Some of it really doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Some is contradictory, but I believe. So let's get that out of the way. However, I have to disagree vehemently with that person who said same-sex couples. You know, he wants his child by same-sex, whatever. But in this world where infidelity, sexual molestation, brutality, and abuse abound, more so in the, sarcasm here, perfect heterosexual families, this is not necessarily the case. I mean, I grew up in Cayman Islands. That's an island where alcoholism and infidelity, mostly by the men, was rampant. And I can tell you so many instances where children had to be removed from their wonderful
Exactly.
male-female parents. There's a particular family that I reflect on so often. Now, thankfully, these kids, for the most part, seem to turn out pretty good. But in my mind's eye now, some over 50 years ago, because it would have been the early 60s, I can still see that little brother and sister walking with the brother holding the hand, running, trying to get away from the fighting and the smashing up of every piece of crockery or glass that was in the house, and father kicking and beating their mother to death, and they were trying to get to the Creek police station to see if they could find Mr. Jake, because Mr. Jake would help them. I can see them now. and how painful it was. And ironically, they were taken out of the home and were raised by another family member, a distant family member, who the talk was that she was kind of funny.
Yeah.
If I don't know that there was ever any proof of that, and I never ever heard of who was the other half of the couple, if that was the case. But the lady was a very masculine-seeming lady, and those children were raised, and like I said, these two particular ones, younger ones came after, but these two particular ones, have grown up to become very, very successful, one in the private sector, one in the civil service, risen to like the top of their profession. So it's not that it can't be fixed, and I'm not here to tell you that it's because they were raised by a family member that was perhaps gay, even though in those days gay meant having a happy time. It didn't mean what it means now. And that's another thing, because I love that word gay so much. I don't know why they took that away and made it mean something else. But anyway, I digress.
I think it was slang, really, that became part of the general
gay was a
language.
Real word. Gay was a real word.
Yeah.
You know, it's happy, it's lighthearted, it's frolicking, far from what people experience if they are truly, truly the other way. And yes, I am saying it here and saying it now. There are many homosexuals who were born that way. And if God
with all the prejudice that there is, people just don't get up one day and say, I want to be gay.
No. I know children, one in particular, who from the age of about 4 or 5, it was so obvious. It was so obvious. I have a grandchild. Granted, he's not gay, but he was born with a condition that makes him so different from the rest of anybody else in the world. I wouldn't say in the world, but here in Grand Cayman, I don't know of another person or child having had the diagnosis of Prader-Willi syndrome. When I say that to someone, they say, what? Whoa,
what is that?
No, I couldn't start it.
Okay.
You can just type it in on your computer and you'll see. But let's just say a child of about 15 weighing around 400 pounds, no metabolism whatsoever, no control, no lock off on their stomach to say, I've had enough, I'm full. And there are a lot of other things. Now, who created that child? Where did he come from? So many people are created. Well, you just got to think of white and black. The same person created white people as created black people. That's the biggest disparity of all. You know, so God does create homosexuals. I don't know what we're going to do with Keith Bryan about that, but yes, the same God that created him, a heterosexual, created many, many homosexuals. And I have to leave it there. Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call. Have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
It's time to take a break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo footlong cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points, or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo footlong cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking to transform your space? From custom homes to commercial spaces, we bring your vision to life with precision, quality, and elegance. At Mike's Builders, we make it happen.
Mike's Builders turned my dream home into a reality. Their team is professional, efficient, and truly the best in the business. Good communication? Check. Cleanliness? Check. Professionalism? On point. You have to try Mike's Builders for yourself.
Call us today at 923-0706. That's 923-0706. Mike's Builders. Let's build a beautiful world together.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and we're into the home stretch here. And before it gets too late, let me see if I can catch up on some of these WhatsApp messages that came in. Good afternoon. Yes, I agree with some of your callers' points on drunk driving and causing death. I am shocked at the article about the man that killed in a hit and run that states he may only get 18 months. How does doing community service and his job override him taking a life in breaking our traffic laws? And what previous precedent could his lawyers be referring to? Good day. In regards to the rollover policy for the private sector, I hear different persons talking about 2, 3, and 6 years, but what about those positions that a Caymanian can't or won't do, such as barber, hairdresser, mason, domestic helper? How do we deal with them? Good question. Sometimes you just can't get the person locally. Let's see what else we have here. The immigration abuses will continue in 3 areas. 1, intentional pregnancies by a local then claim right to family. 2, marriages of convenience to locals, including the status holders now doing this. Bans should be gazetted so everyone can spot elder abuses, and not only posted up on the marriage office. Didn't quite get that one. New status holders adopting and adding other children and relatives from their home country, like elderly parents. So we got some more here. So going back to the topic, having to prove that I'm Caymanian. Why can't the registrar birth certificate office not correlate with the passport office and or immigration office? Why is it left for me, a born and raised Caymanian, having to prove that I'm Caymanian when we have people whom are being paid to document the information? Might I ask, if I was to be deported, where would I be sent, given that all my records are in reference to being a Caymanian? Can a non-Caymanian and expat get a voter's ID? No, right? Again, we have people who are responsible for the documentation of this personal information, yet we, the people, have to do their job. Sounds like I should be paid for doing their work. I'll end with that. Okay, thank you for sending that one in. Let's see, any more here? What do we have here? BRAC fact. There is about 100 more women than men on the BRAC. Really? Which has the highest divorce rate in CI and least birth rate according to the ESO 2022 statistics. I'm just a man in the BRAC, observing. All right. Keeping your eye on things, I guess. Okay, I think that's all the WhatsApp messages here. All right, I think we got someone on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon again, Mr. Glidden.
Yes, you're back.
Yes, I'm back. Well, I have my own opinion and I have rights to speak what I believe is right.
As anybody does.
Yes. Okay? So when I said I wouldn't want same-sex couples adopting my child, that is my right to say that, right?
Yeah. But if someone else doesn't mind, that's their right to not mind either.
Okay. And if I say as a Caymanian, I don't like the gay pride, that is my right to say that, right?
Yeah, it's your opinion.
Okay, but that's all I have to say about that. And the caller sounds like she knows my name pretty well. And from what I heard her speaking about Christianity and so forth, and then encouraging certain things that are against the will of God, there's only one word for that: a hypocrite.
Well, you see, you're getting into, opinion again. I mean, people have different views on different subjects. And we're not all going to agree. We have to agree to disagree. But that topic also brings up a lot of heated debate. And I don't know, sexual preference goes very deep into the human psyche, and people just don't wake up, like I said, one day and say, I'm going to be gay. That is something that is formed way back. And we have about 5 minutes to go. Immigration was a big topic today. And I've always thought, this whole conundrum, I guess you might call it, that we have ourselves in. I've said it before, we're a victim of our own success. Cayman is, that used to say, people who come here, they never want to leave. We got a pretty good thing going. And businesses have multiplied here. It takes people to run the business. One thing that I always wonder about when I hear about, you're going to preserve this job or these jobs just for Caymanians. How do you tell a Caymanian businessman that needs someone to have his company operate, you cannot get a work permit because it's reserved for a Caymanian? But as it was brought up, aren't all jobs really reserved for Cayman? All jobs in the Cayman Islands are reserved for Caymanians unless you can't find someone to fill that post. We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Glidden. Hello.
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good, thank you. Yeah, something that I've been thinking about for ever so long. It's about our heritage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you're a Sunday keeper or I'm a Seventh-day Adventist keeper or Jehovah. Sunday is a heritage was handed down to us by our ancestors, not just put religion out of it. Sunday's supposed to be a day of relaxation. If you want to go to the beach, you want to have a little barbecue, low profile, cool. You want to go on an island drive. But what's happening in this island, it is so much out of control. You have these undesirables coming into this country, and they take Sunday like any other day with their heavy equipment, clearing the land, doing garden work. It is more than me want to see this thing, and it should not be. We need to demand some sort of respect for ourselves. It's not about somebody else's opinion. It's about reality, what has been handed down to us for so many generations. How can we allow these people to just come in here and do as they like? We're not talking about religion in this. We're talking about a day that was put aside to relax, low-profile day. And here you have these people coming in here with heavy equipment, clearing properties, no regard for Caymanians or anyone else.
Caymanians do it too, though.
That does not make it right.
Well, I'm not saying, but it's just not expats that would do that.
No, I understand you saying Caymanians is doing it too. Maybe Caymanians is doing it too because we have allowed it to happen. But any Caymanian that has a little bit of gumption and respect for his country should say, Sunday, do what you want to do, but what shall I deem as heavy iron, heavy metal should not be allowed. Whether you're Caymanian or Bermudian or where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
It is high time that we call a spade and say we're going back to what our ancestors gave us, handed down to us, and that is a low-profile Sunday.
Yeah, it is our tradition, for sure. But, you would have to have some kind of law to shut that down.
Of course. You can have laws for everything else. Well, you can have laws that people have to keep a low profile on a Sunday. You know what that would do for us if that came in? We just can't make people come in here and do as they see fit because it's their opinion. No.
You would have a peaceful Sunday, that's for sure.
For sure. That's all we need. We need to go back to the original. So we'll see what happens about that in the future. Okay?
Thank you for the call.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's it for Talk Today. Very interesting conversations going on today. And thank you for letting me be a part of your afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden. Have a great day.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is also brought to you by Mike's Builders. Call 923-0706. Mike Builders. They make it happen.
Radio Cayman.